To what end? Like, you're live. You're not, I don't think you're going to be on camera. If you are, what's on you?
Devin, and anyone else who's here, Michael, if you're there yet, can you guys hear me? Give me a type into the message on Facebook here if you can hear me. I'm using my wireless ones that I've been using for the Zoom classes.
Maybe I can't hear you. Rest.
We'll start up in 30 more seconds. Or actually, no, we got another minute or two.
Huh?
Got another minute.
We do. You're right. A little early. When you know that clock is a little slow.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
You want me to share you?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, that's fine. Let's start up in 1 minute, guys that are here. Good. Oh, in the park?
I had 3 kids, and then he had 4, like 2 parent child.
Andrew, do me a favor, go sit in the center of that.
Oh, really?
Let me just see. Have a seat. Cool. Yeah. Perfect.
There's Andrew.
Cool. Jen, whenever you're ready, you can get on the floor. Once again, can someone through chat tell me that you can hear us, that we have audio? If not, I'll just take this thing off.
No. Nah, nah.
My phone is on the charger because it's very low. Do you need it?
I'm just using it for music.
You can just put it on the charger.
Okay, we can hear, says Mike. Great. All right, let's warm up.
Wait, should we be more centered?
What? No, I think you're fine. You can face each other. Oh, okay. Oh, Sarah and Thomas are here too. Cool. All right, so let's get ourselves warmed up, those of you at home, and seated back break falls on the count. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Towards me. 1, 2, 3. Other direction. 1, 2, 3. Throw into a ball, roll the ball. Come on up to your shoulders, come on back down. And we're doing inversion rolls. So from here, yeah, no, we're not going to get all the way to inversion. We're just going from here, going sideways. So, you know, one of the key points to the inversion roll for you guys at home is like, ultimately, of course, you want to get to the point where it's a full inversion, but that's not the point of this drill right here, and it's not what we're doing it right now. The goal is to just start getting this a little sideways. So if all you do is come up a little, your head doesn't even get to the mat, that's a fine start. If you want to go all the way to upside down, that works too. Think about this knee inverting, just like the people that took our drills class yesterday, about the knee going upside down. But it's really just about balancing on one length of your body, even if you don't go very far. And begin, go, back and forth. Yeah. Extend that arm out, gently, little better base. And like palm on the ground, I recommend. I always do it like this. Like my hand is actually acting as like a lot of friction. I can pull myself around in that. Yeah. Why did I never do it this way before, where I have a mirror behind it, so I don't even have to get up. I can just look at the framing by looking in the mirror. And back down, triangles left and right, go. Like follows, go. And down, bridges left and right, go. Down, slide to your left a bit. And let's go into S positions and swing our legs. And stop, let's warm up our hands, going through your grips, 10 finger, palm to palm, cover the watch, cover the fist, cover the elbows, figure 4. That's right, the royalty-free stuff, and YouTube won't lock me off. You guys probably at home can't hear it, but we have some pretty terrible house dance hall music on in the background, because I don't want to put any music that might get us kicked off YouTube. When this later goes up. So, but at least gives us a little background beat. What? And shake out your hands. Two guys here, come on up in front of each other. Kimura grips. 2.
Go ahead.
If you're at home doing this drill by yourself, remember, just hit up the Kimura sit-up drill. Excellent work for the core. Good use of the hands. And switch on over to arm drags. One person is lower, one person is higher. We grab the wrist in the same way. We grab the elbow and drag across. Allow yourself to have a small twist. I think that second one was a 2-on-1, Andrew.
Oh,
it's okay. Yeah. Allow your core to twist. So Jen, let your right shoulder go way far back and your left shoulder go forward. Right shoulder goes launching back. That's your left shoulder. No, right shoulder goes launching. Exactly. So that the twist of your core is where a lot of the power comes from. It's not just your arm. Exactly. So your obliques get involved, your back muscles get involved. It's not just pulling with your arm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do that shoulder back. Now make sure on this one. There we go. And you guys can move a little more to the center. So use the center line, please, because I have the camera line up exactly to the center line on the mat.
So twist toward the side you're pulling?
Correct. Just so that, you've got your shoulders making this pinwheel motion. So we're going to do 3 rounds of open drilling in a moment. 2 minutes of escapes, 2 minutes of advancement, 2 minutes of submissions. Those of you at home, same thing. We're going to do 2 minutes of escape drills, and 2 minutes of advancing, like guard passing, and 2 minutes of a submission. We will start in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Last one, Jen, and then we'll move on to some escape drills. For those of you at home, one of the things we're going to work on today is escaping into an attack, so like directly transitioning to attack. So don't do that right now. Just work on pure escaping to a better position or a neutral position. Don't escape into a counter like a leg attack, because that's what we're actually going to work on in a minute.
So don't do like the bump.
Don't do the bump to Ashi, because we're going to work on something similar to that.
What I was gonna do.
Nope.
I'll just do it.
Don't find a different version
I'll
of
just do
something.
it
Back
anyway.
escape or side control or anything, but not into an offensive
No.
move.
Oh,
That's going to be the focus
Yeah.
of today. Why don't you guys spin around though, because that's kind of invisible. Or move 90 degrees, right? That's it. Let's get a profile shot.
Side control.
Do you want to do anything specific?
Yeah, that's fine. Right there, I got my frame.
Nice. And that's actually good as you just want to do a variation of that. Should go right to the arm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be across the.
Adju exists in like a weird 6-dimensional space. He's got more angles and edges than his should be allowed.
This is all true.
Yeah.
This is all true about you. I've known him for years. It's all
He's just called him
true.
stealth fighter. You can't pick him up on radar. There's all these angles and flat surfaces. That means 30 seconds to go, which is right now. 30 seconds left. Finish up a couple more of the drill reps while thinking about what advancement you're going to do. Obviously, knee slice pass, knee leg entry. Anything where you go from a good position to a better one. Or a neutral position to a good position. So we'll go off in 10 seconds, and whoever is up next, you go right away. Remember, as always, you only want to work in the drilling portion of class, begin into advancement.
Okay.
You would rather rep something here that you know well.
Should we the same one?
That's fine. That's fine, Angle. You want to rep something that you know well. You don't particularly want to do something that you're experimenting with, unless you feel like you can do that relatively efficiently or maybe experiment and then move on. Especially with a partner, you want to give them just as much time to get the work in. Monopolize it and keep playing around too much.
I appreciate it. I don't want my head put down.
Maybe I do the same knee slice, thinking about the cross post. So find a solution to the cross post. So each time Jen, he goes to knee slice, cross post to the shoulder to make sure so he has to solve that problem. Keep going, you do your best. You know, it's just no reason to rep something you do a million times without any evolution to it. Let's evolve it. Yeah. I would like you to get Jen a little more of a clear control of the second leg. I think with just the one hand you had, he could just yank it free. Yeah, usually it's in the other armpit. I mean, that'd be
Like
great.
you
I just don't think that's
Like
as,
here.
yeah, I just don't think that first thing's going to happen as often. It's great if it does. His heel's just wide open.
Right.
It's not real.
Alright, so with
So,
the
so
other
now
hand.
he's going to go knee slice, and as he does,
And I'm
left hand
gonna-
cross post, left hand cross
Left
post.
hand.
Go, go, go. So as we hit right now, reach through. Right now, as you address that, figure out how you would make it a difference to what you're doing. Right. Maybe, yeah. And that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a super potent response, so you got to have a equally potent counter response. Better, Jen. Yeah, nice. Yep. Another 20 seconds, and then the bell will go off. And that means we're in the final stretch of this set. Start planning. Yeah. Just make sure you don't move too far back so that they're on a strong, big person. They don't push you. They'll push you your back. Sometimes that's some success. 30 more seconds. One more each, and then you're moving on to a submission. Then we'll move on to techniques today. Move on to your submission. Any submission that you'd like.
What do you want?
I'll work on a heel hook.
From
From,
my foot?
Bolanashi or
Yeah, Tolanashi. Here.
Yeah, start there. And let's use the Jen, go ahead and push the foot off. Use that as the impetus for you to switch to the Tolanashi. So foot up, fish. There you go. Pinch the knees if you can. Yeah, super sharp. It's got really sharp.
I'm gonna do that like Lachlan Giles thing.
Nice.
See if
Nice.
I remember it.
Yep.
Wait, don't
Outside
say it's
from
nice yet.
That's true.
Start
Start 50-50.
Start 50-50, right?
But you need to pass his leg to 50-50.
So, boom, and I'm gonna drop.
Yep.
Well,
And go for that heel hook. For those at home that are watching that don't know what this position is, this is the outside Senkaku position, which is what Lachlan Giles calls it. I find that a little bit of a misnomer. I like to call it an inverted saddle instead.
Yeah.
Take
Just
it.
like the saddle, except upside down.
Take the leg.
And then you push off from the spur.
Sorry, that was a terrible
Okay.
push off.
Still pinch your knees together.
Oh, yeah, I realize it's
Too much space. She can probably roll out. Pass the foot.
Is it better to do this grip?
It depends on a lot of variables. I mean, if it feels better, do it. It depends on the length of the leg, the strength of the ankle. There's like which grip varies depending on the person.
I was thinking that like over
Yeah.
whatever.
I've seen people finish it with a hold.
Oh my god, no.
And now collapse the left knee down. Yeah.
Yeah,
See how
that's,
quickly-
yeah,
Even when I
sorry.
was making the bite
Did you like
stronger,
put
she
your
started
face
tapping
down?
faster because of the clamp.
I just like.
Clamping in the leg just makes 30 more seconds. Last 3 seconds. Last 3 seconds.
Quite terrifying, actually.
Nah, I mean.
A bite.
That's hard.
See how you're getting his deal look fixing.
Yeah.
Just feeling that bite is like,
Yeah.
alive again.
So then if I wanted to go.
I feel sorry for the people out there who never have done Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
and don't know what it feels like
Yeah.
to get a heel. No. And Tom. Okay. So what we're going to work on today are some of these kind of direct counters from an inferior position into an attack. I don't think these should ever be taught without the caveat that I'm about to give. So when I was coming up, I remember learning an armbar from the bottom of side control, and the number of people who were so enamored with it that were like, this is my go-to move from the bottom of side control every single time. And they missed the idea that that should not be your go-to move from the bottom of side control. Your go-to move should be to escape, get to a better position. If an opportunity presents itself in the middle of it, go for the counter. But the idea that an attack from a bad position is so antithetical to Jiu-Jitsu in general, you can have it in your arsenal, but that should not be, we don't want gimmicks. We don't want things that work unless someone knows about them and then they don't work at all. And that's what a lot of attacks from the bottom of a negative position are, is that they only really work if the other person's entirely ignorant of them. No good. Instead, we want it to be part of our normal escape. And if in the process, either they make a mistake or it's just very difficult for them to manage the situation without exposing something, then we go for the actual attack. The first one we'll do is one that you guys at home, most of you should be very familiar with, which is going to the ashi from the bottom of the mount. So I'm mounted. And one of the main things to keep in mind about the no-gi mount is that I don't have to protect my neck anywhere nearly as much as I do in the gi. If I'm wearing a gi and I start bringing my hands down here, he just starts grabbing at collars with his hands and I'm done, right? It's going to be super fast. But there's no real version of that in no-gi. There's totally things he can do, but he would mostly, if I keep my head down, if I bring my head up, he might be able to wrap it into a guillotine, exactly. But if I don't, if I stay down here, my head's probably going to be okay. So from here, what we're going to do is do our normal bump and bridge motion. But our goal is simply to get one of our knees in. If we can get one of our knees into it, we're going to be okay. And so we're also going to be able to escape. So the one motion of bumping, pushing, and getting our knee in leads us into ashi, but also leads us into escaping. So the key to this is the combination of a bump with my hips, a bridge with my hips, and a bench press with my hands. And we're going to do it 1-2. So in other words, if I do them both at the exact same time, then I don't have the strength. If I do them too late, I bump, and then I push, they're not strong enough. But if I go 1-2, I tend to get a lot more space, a lot more distance. Sometimes I will get a little bit of space, but not quite enough. And what I'm simply going to do is do it more. Hit it one more time. One more push my hands or one more. And we're just inserting one knee. I'm not even going to go to the ashi yet. I'm just coming into that single butterfly hook. And for those that were in that drills class yesterday, I emphasized the idea that the moment you're inside, hook the foot. So pay attention to this foot actually catching the calf or the knee or the thigh, depending on wherever we are. So he's sitting, bump with my hips, follow with my hands. You might get a huge motion, you might get a smaller motion. All we're doing here is inserting the single butterfly hook. The other leg ultimately is going to come around, or it's going to also re-butterfly. Either way. But the key is the back of the, the top of the foot, entering there. Yep. The top of the foot, entering there, off of this main idea of the bridge and the push. Bridge and the push. Let the energy flow through those two motions instead of having them to be two choppy, separate things. Come back in. Andrew, you can start on your back. Push. Jen, take the top of the mount. Obviously, this bump and push is more effective if your partner is smaller than you. But if someone is bigger, you're going to make this happen by the person when they're shifting their weight. So go ahead, give it a nice bump and bridge. Very good. And now insert a butterfly hook. Yeah, be aware. Let's liven up that right foot, Adri. Hook it. Pull your toes back to you. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Right. Good. Switch on bottom. Ultimately, you can do that like 2 for 2 or so because it's a fast stroke. Ready to go? Hands to the hips. Ignore your neck. Go ahead. Let him attack your neck. Don't worry about. We'll worry about that when we get there. Yeah, it's fine. Bump, push.
Did you bump with your knees too?
So no, I did not push forward. I went straight up and then push with the hands. No. Your hands were too early. Bump with your hips into his hips. Boom, and then push with the hands. Yeah. Hips, hands, go.
And
then find a butterfly hook somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to stay late one time. I actually work on this.
Think more straight up, not necessarily over your head, Jen, in this case. It's like a...
Hands.
Yeah, exactly.
And then right
Mhm.
keep it lined.
2 minutes, and then we'll finish the ashi off. Better, Jen, yeah. And then, you know, it does need to be a bit ballistic.
Yeah, this looks
Slide
like
back.
a little hard on my knee because I can't be super realistic with that, but
I just thought you... For a ride.
what?
I said, take you for a ride.
Yeah.
Get on the roller coaster. Whoosh.
It's ridiculous. I feel like you're gonna launch me into like the bathroom in the back.
Well, like, she has launched me, Tom has launched me, so you know how it feels. That's right.
I feel like I don't quite have a time on it.
Yeah, it's
That was better. But yes, it's like, think of it
I
as
also
a
think
chain.
I'm
Well, just think for a
compensating
second.
because of my leg.
Think-
I'm really trying to push
You
with my
are.
arms
I'm
and
using
it's
a lot
not.
more of that. Think of, there's two forces and you want one to go right behind the other. So it's continuous push. Good. Get back to the middle. Less than a minute and then we'll add the finish of the ashi.
Oh, sorry. On camera there.
But it's okay. Usually, I am constantly hitting Sam Napkin and mine in the face during this class.
Okay, that's
So
alright.
it's my turn to get hit in the face.
I'm a little less likely to get kicked out.
A lot of face smacking in this class.
I'm sorry, just needed the ashi for a second.
I got needed the shit. I just lifted it.
Alright. Jen, jump back onto the mount for me. So we're just going to add to it. You jump on the mount, yep. What we're now going to add to the end of this is the ashi. So up she goes, boom, right? Remember I did, so, and you know, sometimes when you have a shorter partner, bend your knees and come down a little lower. Like it's going to be harder, especially the long-legged ones of you here. I need enough space to get this knee in. So the final part to create ashi, anyone at home who doesn't know this drill, is simply the other leg, the one that wasn't inside, coming over the top. But the key here is that this is not good enough, right? Depending on what happens here, I gotta get Jen to her butt either way, and she's gonna do one of two things. So if she turns to make this foot heavy to face me, I'm gonna keep going with the way she's going, right? Her balance is super hard to keep. So there's a moment right in here, come down a little lower and like be nice and balanced, right? Where depending on what she does, I've gotta respond right away. She turns and faces me. If I try to push her back away, give me some muscle, like drive into me, I'm not gonna be able to do it. And that's with me weighing a lot more than Jen, because this foot's so heavy. No, I wanna go the way she's going, right? So you might not be able to see it in my motion, but my hips are turning to the right to keep her going the way she's going. Contrary to that, come back up for me.
I'm out.
Yep, whatever, just right there. She's fine. Yep. We get into this position, her hands are off and low still because she was in the mount, and instead she decides to turn away right away. Go ahead. Right. So now, my favorite version here is I'm going to pull this foot off the ground, and I'm going to, imagine it's like a clock going backwards from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. She has to spin out. Yep, go with it, Jen.
Which way to go?
Drop, which way they go? No.
No.
You're going to hurt your knee that way? She's going to roll right,
Sorry.
and it's going to roll herself into the saddle.
Sorry, I forgot.
Right. So people at home, just to protect your knees here, this is what's happening. This leg is stuck here. You're turning away, right? Because you're trying to escape by running. And then as they start to pull your foot, let yourself just keep turning the way you've already turned. It'll feel like you're escaping. You're actually going to get yourself into the saddle if they respond properly. So we're going to go to the ashi. And then if they turn into you, take them down. If you're practicing this by yourself, just practice the motion one and then the other, one and then the other. If they turn away from you, you're bending their leg, bending their knee, turning their foot like a clock. So it's going from 3 o'clock backwards to 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock backwards to 9 o'clock if you're on their left leg. And they'll sit on their butt. Let's give it a try. So why don't, Jen, why don't you go on top? No, Jen. Actually, Jen, why don't you watch it once because you run the inside. So as you do that, so I get the bump going, boom. I come on up. First things first, Adri starts to turn into me, make this leg heavy. Right, drives in, and I keep it going the same way. Right, I don't resist it, I go with it. That one's all in rolling and in my hips. Second time, up we go, and this time Adri turns away from me. I gather up his foot. We stay where we are. Bend the knee, twist. And he should fall right into our saddle position. Right. Take a little spotting from the second person to help out roll with it. And begin, go ahead, 2 for 2.
Am I on top? Am I on the bottom?
Whatever.
Yeah, you gotta try.
Should we do both?
Yeah, why don't you do both and then switch top and bottom.
Alright, so now I'm bumping you and I'm hushing. Hush.
And now he turns into you. There we go, very nice, Jen, perfect.
Ooh, look at that.
Yep,
That's
yep, right there.
Yeah.
And that's a very standard kind of organic thing that happens in that ashi. Up we go, and now Adri starts to turn away. Jen bends his knee, and now pushes the clock. Adri goes with it, and ends up, yeah, and you don't follow here. Another option would be to follow with them, but we don't. Let's send her back to the middle, guys. Then Jen on top. And goes into ashi, first thing. Rotate the other way, though, Adri, if you're going to that ashi.
Oh, yeah.
Like your head should come toward the mirror.
So.
Here you go, yeah.
Yeah, do it again.
In here? Okay.
If you're going to that one, that's fine. And now Jen turn into him, and Adri just keeps pushing on, right? They should have very little base to be able to recover towards the side where you're taking them, because they push there.
Attacking this leg.
Well, you can attack either leg, just be consistent with it. Yeah. And now she turns away from you, bend the knee, and now, yeah, okay, don't give it that too easily, Jen. Make him
Make him
bend, because otherwise you would try to just straighten it and run.
Alright.
And we are holding their knees
So
so
make
they have
him roll
trouble.
me more.
Right. Also, the bending of the knee makes so she can't just pull her leg up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That one just feels very natural.
yeah, you can actually from the bottom all the way down.
Turn away, run away. Yeah. Push his foot to the floor. Yeah. Don't overroll yourself, otherwise you end up just kind of rolling. Which is fine. Not the end of the world, but we have a better thing we can get. Keep going, guys. Keep going.
That's
Yeah,
not
which way we were going, and then I said, oh yeah, look to the left.
no, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, on the bottom. We're up. And then you turn away. And then roll towards the table.
But again, Adri, let's force it. So go back to that ashi. Don't worry about the bell. Go back to the ashi.
I'll just
Go back to the ashi. Just get whatever gets us
go
there
over
fastest.
there.
Well, that wasn't the leg you're on, so whatever. Forget it.
Right.
But the key is go ahead and turn away, Jen. So push her foot to her butt. So now the knee's so bent, there's no way she straightens it. Now
Okay.
slowly and carefully, because it's going to put a lot of pressure on her knee, start pushing her foot straight down to the floor. Right. And leave yourself where you are, right? She spins in your control.
Oh, that's
in the saddle. Right. So you're kind of, remember, look at me, Adri, knee, foot, pushing it down that way.
Pushing it
And
down.
rotates her body because there's another choice.
Was that time?
What's that? You can't be sure.
No, we can do
Yeah, no.
I like this job.
Okay, so
Yeah, no, we can.
one of the ideas about attacking from inferior positions is that it seems like almost all of them go into leg attacks. Why is that? Well, because most of the dominant positions are controlling you with their legs, so you know where their legs are. If Adri has me mounted, it's not, I mean, in theory, impossible. There's like Kimura grips and stuff you can do the upper body, but I don't know where his upper body is. It could be anywhere, right? He could be choking me, he could be attacking my arms, he could be moving around, but his legs, at least in a classical mount, I know where they are. They're always gonna be here. So as I start to escape, I can do that. Often, we're not gonna work on it today because you guys have done it many times, but when you're escaping the back, like with a pump handle, at the very end, they're trying to get their mount or they're trying to get their back control back. You know where their legs are, so you attack their legs. So a lot of these lead into leg attacks, not just because I love leg attacks, although I do. It's because people use their legs to control you so you know where they are. That's not the case with side control. Adri jumps to the side and he's in side control instead, right? This is now, his legs I now don't know where they are. He could walk his legs up to north-south. He could walk them towards lower. He could go to knee on belly. His legs could do all kinds of different things. I don't know where they are, but I know where his arms are. So now our counterattack is going to be the arms. And the key, the impetus for this one is this arm being underneath my armpit. If he were to switch to that other version of side control where this arm goes to the other side of my head, right? And this arm goes to either down by my hip, right there, or flips to the other hip, right? Then the thing we're about to do isn't gonna work. Arms aren't in the right spot. But if he's in a classical side control where he's trying to get head and arm control and the arm is under my armpit, we're ready to go. The key here is that I have to have this arm inside also. If I'm here, we're not gonna be able to do what we're gonna do. I need this arm in here. What I'm counting on is when I start pushing on his neck, I don't lose him, but he wants to keep that left arm inside. He's trying desperately to keep that left arm in. If he pulls the left arm out and goes somewhere else with it, I have too much space, and also the technique I'm gonna go for isn't gonna work. So a lot of prerequisites, I know. You're not gonna think this all through, you're just gonna get a feel for it if you've drilled it a bunch of times. So here we are, I've got my inside control. We're gonna do our walking away shrimp, that flattened out shrimp that we practiced in drills class. I'm gonna push. I wanna get a sense of whether I can get my left knee inside the rib. If I can, I'm gonna insert my left knee all the way up to the armpit, and my right foot is gonna come all the way over the head, and we've got his arm. If you can leave his arm in the armpit, do it, because the arm bar happens really fast. If it pops out, that's fine. You're gonna try to break them down instead. Okay, let's go with it, right. Break them down into the arm bar instead. We're gonna call it half Jiu-Jitsu because one of my legs is tucked underneath. Let's look at it again from a slightly different angle. So Adri's over here, same side, just different angle. I've got my inside position of my frames though. And now I make space and Adri still holds on with especially that left arm. Shrimp away, left knee inside, start bringing it up towards the armpit, right leg up and over the face. The arm might slide out, the taller of you, the arm's gonna slide out because your torso's longer. The shorter of you, that hand might be nice and trapped, and that's great. And we're gonna bridge into the knee, into the elbow. You might get the finish right here. If they start moving and wiggling, you might take them down instead and finish the half juji from here. Okay, so this is a nice little surprise counter for the bottom of side control. It should be your go-to from bottom side control. No, you should be escaping. But if this presents itself, let's give it a try. So, Jen on the bottom, Adri on top. Count it down one time, and then we'll go. No, side control.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, frames inside. Jen, walk your legs away. Good. Insert your right knee to all the way as high to the armpit as you can. Don't square up. No, don't square up, Jen. Stay sideways. No. I don't mean turn on your side. I mean be 90 degrees to him still. So exactly. Now, otherwise it'll be a hard reach. Left leg over his head. Perfect. Yep. Capture the arm down here. And a little bridge will do it. Very good. So this is kind of a key point for you at home. If Jen squares up, like she's just recovering a guard, the arm bar is going to be much harder to reach. If you stay 90 degrees like regular side control, it's a much easier finish. Okay, so same thing here. Jen's going to do the same side control. Adri's got his frames. Jen's controlling the elbow and the head. Get all the way down though, Jen. Lock your hands up. Don't overframe it, Adri, like everything to lock it up. Okay. Start to push Adri a bit just to lengthen her arm. And now same thing, we don't want to change the angle. Bring your right knee under the armpit, left leg in front of the face, exactly. Yep. And so this is an example because of the height of Adri and Jen being shorter, that arm is not going to stand to the armpit most likely. So you got to be able to catch it, otherwise you lose the whole thing. Go ahead, one for one. Just a couple minutes. Nice, Adri.
It's so pretty.
Nice, Jen, clean, yeah. See if you can, at the very end, top leg, Jen, bring your heel to your butt.
Stand
Yeah.
up.
Other than that, everything's good. Ooh, very nice.
I like my tap as I'm falling over. I'm falling.
Well, those are the fun taps. They're like, they're down.
You're a little square.
Yeah, that's why it took longer.
Just think straight up, no rotation. Straight up.
Sorry. Yeah, this is the straight up you're talking about.
Straight up into the
I'm trying to stay up. But I think he's right. I think it's like the size of us.
Yeah.
It's more straight.
So slide in that.
Sorry.
Slide in the second every time.
Stand up. Stand up.
Better, Jen. Right. Just pinch the bottom knee into the armpit. Yeah, much better angle. 30 more seconds after bell. Then we'll do one last variation of this. Call it class. Or actually not a variation, but a continuation with the other person.
Yay.
Sorry.
Nice.
One second.
And time. Okay, so now let's use this as an opportunity to work on something else. So Adri is going to throw me into it. So which side are you doing?
Yeah,
You said cool. Okay, yeah, I can't remember. So here we are. Now there's a concept here that matters. Adri goes ahead and bridges up, and my arm's stuck. Yeah, go ahead, go. Boom. Uh-oh, my arm's stuck. I'm in trouble. So what's interesting is if there were a brick wall where my head and my arm and my shoulder were, as Adri starts to push into me and bridge, I have no way to compensate for it. So the whole thing about falling over or getting kicked over is that that's compensating for the break, the force of the break. Again, if there were a brick wall by my right shoulder, he goes to bridge, I would slam into the wall, my arm gets broken because there's nowhere for me to go. But because I can fall, go ahead and go into the finish, right? The fall actually takes away some of the force, right? And what that's going to take us into here is our hitchhiker escape. So because what he ends up in is what they call a half Jiu-Jitsu. He doesn't have the leg across my belly, and the leg across my belly is usually the one that actually stops the hitchhiker. So if you guys don't know the hitchhiker, just kind of stay with us. This is the last drill. If you do, you might be able to figure out how to go right into this. As he pushes, I'm going to let it happen, and I'm going to follow. My arm is extended, right? That's often an indicator that we want to do the hitchhiker. As I hit the ground, look, my thumb is turning down to the mat, and I'm just going to continue the motion. Doesn't matter. He's going to hold on to my wrist, Adri. Yeah, he holds it tight. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can rotate my shoulder in the action of it and either come up the middle or come out. If you come up the middle, just watch out for the triangle. But the idea is let yourself get tipped over, and as you get tipped over, continue with it. Hitchhiker is also a nice exercise because you can practice it by yourself at home really well. Just put an arm in here, and then as you fall over, hitchhiker, put your thumbs up. Boom. And then we just continue the motion. That's all it is. You never have to roll over your head. You never have to do a real inversion or come up onto your shoulders. It's just a barrel roll at the very end. Let's give it a try. Last drill, just a couple of times. Go ahead. So Jen, why don't you go in the arm bar first?
So
So same as before. Goes to the arm bar. And now as you go, just go with it, Jen, and hitchhiker as you go. So as you fall, now go. Keep walking, run. The way you're going, duck your head and come on up. Yep, keep going, you're out. Right.
My hair.
So roll with the technique to come all the way up.
No,
Jen, you're on the bottom.
I don't think there's any way to stop that from happening.
This side.
No, that's not.
Yeah, you attack my left
Just
arm.
because it's a bit.
Yeah, you attack my left arm.
Up goes Jen. So now go with it, Adri, and hitchhiker your thumb right away. Go. Right. Very nice. If you have a partner at home and you're working on this, try to make the whole thing kind of smooth. There should be a flow between the attack and the escape. Go. Very good, Ken. Yeah, beautiful. That's a great example of like how to feel through the movement of the hitchhiker, and you'll speed it up later. It actually turns out you don't really need to do this super fast. If you can just keep changing the angle on them, the armbar falls apart. Same thing, go ahead, go with it. Very nice, very smooth. Look at that. Yeah, if you're at home, you can emulate. I know they're both brown belts, they're both very experienced, but you can just emulate that kind of moving with emotion. And this ultimately applies to everything in Jiu-Jitsu. People worry about doing this fast way too soon. And by the way, for those of you that have struggled with the hitchhiker itself, this might be a nice method for kind of understanding the directionality of it. Where do I go? Where do I resist? Obviously, if you go the wrong way with a hitchhiker, you make the armbar worse. So at the end here, Jen, grab his wrist and pull on it like you're trying to really.
Like at the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. Same thing at home. Don't just let them spin around if they're on free. Hold on to their wrist. It shouldn't make a big difference. If they're doing the hitchhiker right, a grip on the wrist should not stop the motion, because it's going to be rotating through your shoulder and through the rest of your body. Person on top, don't be maniacal. 30 more seconds. Person on top, don't be maniacal holding onto the wrist just because they can get like, you know, the skin on their wrist can start getting hot or something. And the wrist is something that hurt. And time. Finish up the last one. Yep. As always, if you're in the middle of one, you have yourself. Thank you. Excellent work, guys. So, have a seat. If you'd like, people at home can stretch out. So, just as a quick summary of what we worked on today, your primary thinking in any negative position, any inferior position, is first defense. Don't let yourself get submitted. The submissions are coming if they're in a dominant position. Second to that is to escape. And the very far third is looking for your own counterattacks, how to find stuff. I always talk to you guys about the idea of things scaling to skill. So it doesn't matter if you have a great technique that only works on people that don't know about it. There's one exception to that, which is self-defense. So what's kind of implied in any kind of self-defense jiu-jitsu is that the person attacking you probably is not knowledgeable about jiu-jitsu themselves. They're probably going to be knowledgeable about general ideas about their own body. If you grab my neck, I'm going to try to get my neck free. If you try to break my arm, I'm going to try to pull my arm in. They're going to get that, but they're not going to understand technical ideas. So for self-defense jiu-jitsu, absolutely you're going to count on the idea that a person doesn't know how to defend things. But in kind of standard jiu-jitsu or sport jiu-jitsu, your thinking on it is that if it's very easy for someone to learn about a technique and then it no longer works, it's not super valuable to put in your arsenal, because it's only going to work for a while and then it's going to never work again. Our goal should be that even if someone knows about it, they've got to know a very specific response, and even if they have a specific response, you may have a counter response to that. So that's our long-term goal with our jiu-jitsu, is that to have that kind of depth. It's also a more interesting pursuit than just simply assuming ignorance on our partner's part. I'm not concerned with just tapping out a whole bunch of white belts. I want to be able to tap black belts. I want to be able to tap people who see things coming. I want people to know what my game is and still not be able to stop it. That should be your goal. And not from a competition point of view, not from like dominating other people's point of view, but just from a kind of, you know, perfection of the art point of view. I want the techniques to be so sharp, so exact, that even if you know what I'm doing, you have real trouble stopping it. Thank you very much. We'll see you later in the week. Those that have been enjoying the drills class, recommend it to other people as well. It's been really fun. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon. Nice. Nice as everybody.